All right, we're back. I'm Kayla, and I'm going to go over with you guys the exercises on the lower body resistance exercise handout. This is something that you can do every other day. You definitely want to follow this handout with your dynamic warm-up or some other type of warm-up beforehand, making sure to prevent injury. This handout will focus on all of the major muscle groups of the lower body. We can certainly modify for all of these. We can either progress, make it more difficult, or regress, make it a little bit easier depending on your level. But again, this is something that you want to perform every other day at home. There is no equipment required. I just recommend pulling up a chair, having a nice stable surface to hold onto if it's not a chair. The kitchen countertop is a good stable surface to provide you with some stability if you need it. And then if you do have a single stair at the bottom of your staircase, you might want to utilize that as well. So again, always start with your warm-up. The dynamic warm-up exercises that I've provided you will certainly get all of the major muscle groups involved for any type of activity that will follow. I recommend that you perform 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions for each exercise on each leg. I'm just going to go through each individual exercise performed as a circuit. So we'll just perform each exercise on the sheet in order as they appear on your sheet, and then it would be up to you to either go back to the beginning, perform the whole list through for 2 or 3 sets, or you can just focus on each individual exercise. Perform 2 or 3 sets with some rest periods in between, and then move on to the next exercise. Okay, so the first exercise we have on the list engages all of the major muscle groups of the leg. It teaches you how to squat with good form. So you're going to sit down in your chair. This is your sit to stand. Initially, you may need assistance from your arms. In order to keep good posture, push off your arms with the chair well supported beneath you, and then we're just going to rise, maintaining good posture. You can even grab hold of the arms to sit down slowly, because again, we don't want to dump forward in order to be successful to rise. Using your legs as much as possible so that you feel your hips engaging. So you're inhaling to begin, exhaling to rise. Eventually, you may be able to perform this exercise without assistance from your upper body. You may even touch the seat without actually putting your weight into the chair, which would be the next step. Or you could hold some type of object on your chest to add resistance for that same squatting exercise. Regardless of where you are in the progression for this, I always recommend having a chair behind you. It will encourage you to keep the proper mechanics and allow you to reach your hips backwards so that your hips are engaging properly. Next up is our step-up exercise. It trains one leg at a time, but again, it's going to engage all the major muscle groups of the leg. So you're going to get to the very bottom of your staircase. You always have a railing available to you if you do need it for balance. You're keeping your foot grounded over the bench the whole time. This foot will not leave the step. As you exhale, you're going to step your free leg up and down as you inhale. Exhaling on the effort to step up, inhaling to step down. And you're pushing your weight through the heel that's set over the stair so that only the leg over the stair does the work to allow you to be successful. Of course, we're going to go ahead and alternate and perform the same exact exercise on the other leg to make sure that both sides of the body are balanced. Good. So again, 10 to 15 repetitions with each. This video is just to demonstrate the correct form. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our stable surface. I'm just going to flip this chair around. In general, with these exercises, if you hold on with 2 hands, you're going to be most stable. You can turn sideways and hold on with 1 hand, a little bit less stable. Obviously, Lokman, no hands, is going to be the most challenging. So the first exercise on the list here is a heel raise. Always maintaining good posture, pulling your belly button in towards your spine, trying to get as tall as you can, like I'm pulling a string on the top of your head. And then we're going to slowly lift your heels up and down, off the floor. I know you can't really see my feet here, but keep a good posture, slowly lifting your heels up and down as best you can. This can certainly be done seated in a chair as well, just pushing your toes down into the floor to raise your heels, and then lower slowly. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and march in place. Again, holding on with 2 hands, lifting your knee. Level 2, 1 hand holds, lifting that knee again, or no hands, keeping your balance, trying not to dump your weight over to one side. You want to try to be as tall and centered as possible. So exhaling, lift your knee, and inhale to lower. Always slow and under control. Lifting the knee, and then lowering slowly. So that would engage the front of the hip. The next exercise will engage the back of the hip, the glute and the hamstring. It's hip extension. So it's a little bit of a ballerina move, holding on with 2 hands. Again, level 1. You're going to plant your toe behind you. You want your leg straight and long. And without leaning forward, you're just going to lift your leg, keeping it straight throughout, lifting your toe slightly off the floor and back down. Again, no hands, keeping good posture. Kick the leg back and lower slow. Again, you're going to feel this in the back of the leg. Don't worry about lifting your leg very high. You just want to feel something happening in the back of your leg in order to slowly and gently lift that toe slightly up off the floor. Again, we have a hamstring curl. This can produce a little bit of discomfort as well. I recommend that you flex your toe during the exercise, keeping your toe up towards the ceiling rather than keeping your foot relaxed like so. But facing the chair, holding on with 2 hands, you're just going to keep your knees touching. Upper leg stays side by side, and then you're bending your knee, pulling your heel up towards the ceiling. Again, don't keep this foot relaxed. Flex your foot, keep the lower leg engaged, and then pull that heel up, and then slowly lower. Again, touching the knees. This knee should not pull forward. You always want your thighs touching. Just bending the knee and pulling that heel upward. Then we have a side leg raise for the hip. Again, you always want to stand really tall. Avoid dropping your shoulders in one direction. I'm going to hold on with 1 hand here, but again, you can always face the chair and hold with 2 hands. Standing tall through your bottom leg, you're going to just lift your heel away from your standing leg. So we're lifting that leg out to the side. Again, keeping that toe lifted towards the ceiling. And you're going to feel this in the outer part of your thigh. Always performing both sides. And then lastly, we're going to do a seated leg extension. It's much easier to have your back fully supported in the chair. A little bit more difficult for your abdominals and your core to sit away from the seat back behind you. Either way, you're seated tall. The backs of the legs rest in the chair throughout, so you don't want to be lifting your leg up out of the seat. All you're going to do is flex your toe up towards the ceiling and extend your leg straight, engaging this quadricep muscle at the top of the thigh. You're going to kick the leg straight, pause at the top, and then lower slowly, back to baseline. Kicking the toe up to the ceiling, and then inhale to lower. So that summarizes the lower body exercise handout. All of the major muscle groups of the lower body have been targeted. Again, every other day would be appropriate. No equipment required. You can follow this workout with some stretching to allow your body to adequately cool down. Thank you for watching.